Hey there, folks. It's your buddy Mike Messier. I've been doing a little bit less videos lately, but I did want to do this what's in the bag video, and I don't know because I don't really know what's in the bag yet. I really don't remember what it's supposed to be. So this came to me not too far away from West Palm Beach, Florida. Looks like a eBay purchase from a gentleman named Mark. I won't give away any further details. That is his actual name. For the wrestling fans, you might be wondering, gee whiz, Mike, why haven't you given us any new videos lately? I don't know. I've been concentrating on my own things, my own screenplays, to be exact, and my artwork. And I don't want to just make up some bullshit about wrestling if I don't know what I'm talking about. But I am happy to... I did watch that Samoa Joe CM Punk match today. It was decent. I mean, it wasn't great. Let me cut this open. I did like Punk's Owen Hart interview. All right, and for those of you who've been watching the Mike's Instant Movie Reviews, I've been doing a lot of over on One Mike Messier. So for the pro wrestling fans, if this happens to be a pro wrestling or sports article, go over to One Mike Messier, because I have been pretty active with the film reviews, and I've seen some really good stuff and some really bad stuff. Okay. Here's the process. I do like this wrapping by this gentleman. Interesting. I'm seeing like the vague, I don't know if you can see that, but there's like a hint of a former thing. So I don't know if like he sent this to someone and they sent it back, or maybe he bought this and then repurposed the packaging. I want to be very delicate with opening this, and you might be wondering, gee whiz, it's nice that you have that pair of scissors. Is it a scissor or a pair of scissors in your vehicle? I carry the scissors in my vehicle. A lot of people think that I live in my car. I don't. I just have a lot of things that I like to have with me at all times, and I find that I'm typically driving, I'm typically going somewhere or being somewhere away from the home, so I need to have utensils for my living, including scissors. Now I just did a nice cut there. I know you like the cuts. I shouldn't speak over the cuts. I know you're fetish for that. Let's go back in here. Let's see, get a nice close-up. You know, and it's just a smart thing. Having, especially in Florida, have an extra set of clothes or two. Undergarments, t-shirts, socks if you wear socks. I've been wearing sandals lately. It's not the best thing for me. I prefer the support of shoes, but the comfort of sandals, and you can't have it both ways. Okay, let's open this, folks. Let's see where this is. Okay, it does look like some type of sports-based card or cards, perhaps. Now, I did like the gentleman did a nice job with this. I do get kind of inspired by eBay sellers with their packaging. I occasionally will sell something on eBay. Oh yes, I'm glad that I ordered this. Okay, and here's my thing. I had a rant up a couple of days ago that was so profanity laden. I had to take it down. I was afraid I would get canceled in advance, but I was upset because a gentleman on eBay listed a bunch of wrestling cards in what they call the hard sleeves, right? I'm sure you guys know all about this. But then when I got the cards, suddenly they were in just soft sleeves. And I wrote to the guy, I'm like, hey, you know, you photograph your cards in hard sleeves, you sell them to me in soft sleeves. He's like, oh, well, for the price you paid, you shouldn't get a hard sleeve. Well, fuck. Why don't you just photograph what you're selling me, asshole? Don't worry about the goddamn price. I mean, you don't fucking go to buy a dozen apples and the fucking apples are on sale, so when you're checking out, the guy takes out 7 of your apples and gives you 5. Hey, you should be happy you're paying such a little price. Okay, fuck for brains. So let's see. Opening. I did watch the big UFC fight. I had a request over on... Oh, so this fuck did fuck me. So I have to look up this asshole now, too, because he gave me one... I haven't even seen these before. This one hard shell, and I have to look and see if this fuck listed his cards in the soft case or the hard case. I do have some hard sleeves at home. I just wish these, and this one's not even in a fucking sleeve. I just wish these fuck for brains would actually just sell me with their advertising. But off the top of my head, this might be fine because I don't remember. I should slow this process down a little bit and give you a little thought on each fucking card, shouldn't I? Make this, milk this for all that it's worth, this experience we're sharing. Jackie Joyner Kersee. I'm sure a lot of you young'uns out there, as the kids say, have no clue who this lady is. Born March 3rd, 1962. Actually, that's the same week of my sibling was born in that week, and my father was born in that week. Not that year, but that date. She was a big track star. I don't know if you've ever heard of Carl Lewis, or like some of these like sports that aren't baseball, football, whatever the fuck, soccer, like not the big sports, but like these, you know, track and field and shit like that. Like Caitlyn Jenner, formerly known as Bruce Jenner, was like a household name. And Jackie Joyner Kersee, I'd say she was pretty damn close to being a household name. There was another lady, Florence. What the fuck was Flojo? Florence. I think Flojo was on the Cosby Show. It was one of these two ladies, but Jackie Joyner was a big deal. Heptathlon. I can't even tell you what the heptathlon is. Is that the 5 thing? While a 4-year basketball starter. So this lady, I mean, if she was around now, she probably would be destroying people in the WNBA. But she was a big deal, Jackie Joyner Kersee. It was one of those few, like, non-mainstream sports athletes that people actually gave a flying fuck about for a while. So, etc. Now, this individual, cricket, mate. Is that where yeah, Australia. Okay. So I did watch the UFC fight. There's a guy's named Vandelovsky won the fight. My buddy there, Lawrence Laza Johnson over in Australia, Brisbane. He's a big, wrestling fan and so forth, and I think he likes combat sports. So I wonder if he's a fan of Vandelovsky, and if he knows this gentleman, born July 27th, 1955, a fearless attacking left-handed batsman. Alan Border is the most capped player in the world. I don't know what that means. Very exciting. So I think what these cards were some type of set from the early 90s. And like I said, I have to go back to my purchases and see if this guy advertised these things in the hard case, the soft case. I can't recall. I feel bad now that I brought these, because I was going to do this video earlier and at home, and then I decided not to. It's raining, by the way. Charles Barkley. I was tempted to go to SeaWorld today and see February 20th, 1963. I think February 20th, if I'm not mistaken, was the day that the Station nightclub fire happened in 2003. Barkley is one of these guys that was really shut out by Jordan and the Bulls in the 90s. And basically, there was a whole generation of guys like Karl Malone, this next gentleman we're about to see. God damn it, now my fingertips are kind of wet, this fucking rain, but I need to breathe. Hold on. I'm just being, oh, fuck. God. All right. So I was thinking of going to see this band from the good old days, the Little River Band. I was thinking about, they're playing at SeaWorld. I just got this SeaWorld membership. And I just decided basically not to go. I listened to some Little River Band music last night, and I just couldn't get motivated to give a shit. But I'm hoping that it's a great concert and everyone has a good time that goes. Patrick Ewing, August 5th, 1962. I have no great memory of that date in history. The Dream Team Center is the all-time Knicks leader in block shots. I mean, I think this is one of those deals where, guys that win championships, i.e. a Michael Jordan, Rodman won 5. People kind of forget that he won 2 with Detroit before he even was with the Bulls. But I think we sometimes, if you're not from the generation, you just think of the guys that won titles as a big deal. Like, sure. Whatever the fuck. who was the Celtics guy that won like 8 rings? That guy. That guy, you know what I'm talking about. Orlando Magic. The Heat's bothering me. Shaquille O'Neal. Oh, this is a with the card for the whatever the fucks for the fucking Orlando Magic. Yeah, you ever see that doc of on ESPN2 of Shaquille O'Neal and Penny Hardaway for the Magic and all the trials and tribulations? Okay, I'm actually going to give you some content here for sports fans. ESPN docs. ESPN2 is a great deal, by the way. You know, you get a lot of stuff on there. If you get the Hulu app, you can get a deal with Disney and ESPN. I don't even watch the Disney stuff. I guess I should. I should. Everybody tells me these things I should do, and I don't do them because I do what I want to do. But anyway, this fucking doc about Shaquille O'Neal and Penny Hardaway, very exciting. So I like this card, and basically Shaq was saying, hey, if Penny and I weren't such pricks to each other, and if Orlando was a more intelligent city, we could have won a couple of championships. His words, not mine. This guy was a lot of fun. 34-0 at this time. This is really kind of cool. I'm going to forgive this fuck for not giving me the hard cards if they were promised. Maybe they even weren't. But I'm enjoying this. I mean, this is worth the price of admission alone. Riddick Bowe, 3 fights against Holyfield, won 2 out of 3. Ducked Lennox Lewis, fought Lennox in... there was a documentary that I worked on as a script consultant, okay? And Lennox Lewis, The Untold Story, or it's on whatever the fuck now. It's on like Hulu, the Lennox Lewis doc. You can, Dr. Dre narrates it. He speaks many of the words that I wrote. That's a whole other story. But basically, Riddick never fought Lennox as professionals. It would have been a hell of a fight, and it was disappointing that fight never happened. But Riddick did have some great fights. Unfortunately, his career ended on a real weird note. I believe his last 2 fights, he won by disqualification from suffering from low blows by this gentleman named Andrew Golota, the Polish Prince. And I think there was some type of doc on HBO or something about that, or YouTube somewhere. But doc, everything's a goddamn documentary. I just had breakfast this morning. Let's make a documentary about it. Mike eats breakfast. Who cares? But anyway, Richard Petty, I don't think he's with us anymore. I don't want to say that unless it's true, but I think that's true. They love this guy in the South, the undisputed king of NASCAR. 200 victories in his illustrious career. I'm not like a big intelligent guy about NASCAR, but I did go to something called the Coca-Cola 600 one year. And when I lived in the North Carolina for a couple of years, I can tell you that, you know, these guys were icons, okay? You know, I mean, it is what it is. I kind of dig, it's like one of those things where I respect it, but I'm not into it. I respect NASCAR, I'm just not into it, that's all. So it's nothing against you guys that like it. I can relate that to, oh, this guy, I know who this guy is. Brett Hull. Yeah, so played for the Blues. I believe that's the St. Louis Blues. And, yeah, big time guy here. 5'11", born on August 9th, 1964, 201 pounds. I don't know if he's still with us or not, but Brett Hull, that was a big name. Some gentleman on his phone over there. God, it's hot. It's steamy because it's rainy and like I get the window down, but I'm totally uncomfortable. For you hardcore baseball fans, you can leave a fucking comment. I really don't know who the fuck this is. John Olerud. Actually, I've heard the name. I just, you know, the only sport or the only thing that I know, like people that are on movies, and not even like, you know, some movies, not all movies, and wrestling people and music people I can remember, but like athletes I have a hard time remembering unless they really stood out to me. John Olerud, the name is familiar. Toronto Blue Jays. I actually may have seen him perform live because I did see a couple of Blue Jays games in that era. One in Detroit at the old Tiger Stadium. That was a nice anecdote. Eric Lindros, my family, my father, my uncle, my cousin and I went to see the Tigers and the whatever the fucks, the Toronto Blue Jays. I actually have some photos from that experience. I'll have to dig them up. Eric Lindros, Flyers. That was the team that was always beating my team, the Washington Capitals. So I think Eric was a little bit, I'm not sure if he ever won did he win a title? I don't know. I can't remember the last time the Flyers won a championship, to be honest with you. Hockey guys can tell me. I was upset that the Stanley Cup this year was only available on ESPN, the main feed, which, you might know or might not, that I've kind of cut the cord. I've become one of those people. This girl was a big deal. Very pretty. Katharina Witt. Born December 3rd, 1965 in Germany. Natural beauty. I love when there's all these euphemisms, for a hot chick just being a hot chick. She's a natural beauty, as opposed to fucking what? You're saying she doesn't have silicone in her body or what? I don't know. It's just, people will always find a way to make things sound nicer than they are. She's a natural beauty. Okay. Yeah. But yeah, she's hot. I mean, Witt has teamed with Brian Bottano for an international tour. He's another one of those guys, like Brian Bottano. I guess you had to be of a certain fucking age, but when he was a big deal, he was a big deal. Like, he was, oh my God, Brian Bottano. And now it's like, who the fuck is that? Does he work at Walmart? Who gives a fuck? Does he have a YouTube page? Let's see who this is. Carl Lewis, once again, another one of these guys. Interesting story. I think I saw a doc. Yeah, so this guy did this routine, okay? Which I guess I like. But I'm going to have to seal these things back up. I don't want to get these cards all bent. I'm going to put these fucking cards in real protective sleeves, okay? I don't know how these guys do their business. I just wish people just sell me what you sell me. But I don't know if this guy did that, but the other guy did that with the wrestling cards. And I did this angry rant, but I took it down because I was just swearing. Track and field, July 1st, 1961. Happy birthday 2 weeks ago. Considered the greatest track and field athlete of all time. He started his Olympic, successes in '84. He was a big fucking deal. There is this doc somewhere on ESPN2 once again of him and Ben Johnson, who was kind of an early sacrifice to the steroid thing. And I think Ben Johnson was from Canada, and it was a whole big deal. So I got a lot of these cards, actually. This is actually a fun trip down Memoir Lane. I just wish it wasn't so humid. I would be shooting an arrow like Cupid, okay? Boris Becker, once again, this John McEnroe documentary. I believe he talks about his rivalry with Boris. Boris Becker was a big-time player. West German team, 2 consecutive Davis Cups. He won his first Wimbledon singleton title at age 17. Very impressive. 6'3", 187. That's a sport. I guess Wimbledon's going on right now. I'm not watching it. Some things just take so much time. This chick had an interesting story for all you hardcore sports fans. All these memories are coming back to me because these people are really in my sweet spot of memories. Steffi Graf was a big-time tennis player, and I want to say in 86 or 87. I believe it was her. She got stabbed by a fan on the court. It wasn't even a fan. I mean, you're not a fan if you stab somebody. But this asshole weirdo ran onto the tennis court and stabbed her literally with a knife in the back. I believe that was Steffi. As if she's my friend, Steffi. How can you not be friends with someone named Steffi though? I did meet Brooke Shields once upon a time. I'll have to tell that anecdote sometime. My stomach is growling. I'm so hungry, but I just had hunger to do this video. John McEnroe, I love this guy. I actually read his book, one of them, You Cannot Be Serious. If you want to read an interesting story about sports, you don't have to be a tennis aficionado, but John McEnroe's book which I actually sat there and read. I didn't even listen to the audiobook, but I sat there and read his book. He talks about the morning of 9/11, where he was when 9/11 happened, in 2001. He was in New York, and I think he said he went to his therapist's office, and like they barely talked about it because he had an appointment with his therapist, McEnroe, and then he's on his way to this therapist, and he sees this report on 9/11 happening, the carnage, and he just goes to his therapist, and they don't even talk about it because he couldn't process it, which I thought was interesting and very honest and very human. McEnroe got some shit maybe a year or two ago. He said that, Serena Williams wouldn't do well against male players, and all these idiots on the, morning talk show circuit crucified him. But he's right. You know what I mean? So it's not that fucking Serena wouldn't kick my ass or your ass, and she probably would wipe out a lot of men's professional tennis players. But the elite, like the top 100, they'd probably beat Serena, and Serena acknowledges that. So all these fucking idiots who don't know what they're talking about always want to, give someone a hard time when that person knows what they're talking about. Paul Gascoigne. I mean, there's reality and there's what people want to be reality, and there are two different things. You know what I mean? Who's this fuck? Is this an official? An officiate? No, he's a goal scorer. I'm sorry. He looked like an officiate to me, just standing there. He looked like an officiate. Here's the thing, gentlemen, and I know that I have some fans from other countries, and I always welcome you, for Australia, wherever you're coming from, India. I get some Indian viewers. I appreciate you guys being here. But, I'm just going to say things like I say them, and it's not to offend anyone. But, football, I respect it, but at the same time, I don't really like the diving in football, and I feel that is like the sin that keeps on sinning. Like the diving in football, and I'm trying to be respectful to your country by saying football, the way that they dive so goddamn much, meaning that they try to get a penalty against the other team by flopping on the field like fish, it makes it hard for an asshole like me to really get into it, because I'm sitting there watching this thinking, how can I take you guys seriously if you're going to flop around like fish all day? No offense. You can comment. You can take issue with that. But it's part of the game now. This guy has a real familiar face. He looks like a guy that's been acting in movies for some time. Linford Christie, track and field. I can't say I know too much about him. He's from Jamaica. But there's an actor with a strikingly similar face to this gentleman, which I suppose it's not the same guy. This guy was born April 2nd, 1960. Undisputed king of the 100 meters. At times, he's been overshadowed by his rival, Carl Lewis. Well, who hasn't? This is really fun. Like I said, I just wish I wasn't so sweaty. Nigel Mansell in racing, for crying out loud. Looks like a nice gentleman. He's from Upton-on-Severn, England. That's one thing. Here you go, folks. I've been watching The Ultimate Fighter Season 9, United States versus United Kingdom. Please don't spoil it, because I don't know who fucking wins yet. And it's really a fun series. I always liked The Ultimate Fighter, but I think after the 6th or 7th season of its original run, I just kind of fell out of it. And now with this ESPN2 app, I have it at my fingertips. You know what I mean? And I'm telling you, it's a lot of fun. And I'm watching Season 9. Bisping against Dan Henderson's team. Really good fights. And there didn't seem to be much of an interest in my retro UFC videos, so I kind of put a shabaltz. You guys need to give me some feedback and share these URLs if you want me to continue on tangents, because I will if I get that feedback, okay? So it's up to you. Ian Botham, a cricket player, all these look at how dignified this fuck is, you know what I mean? Like, can't you just see this? Look, he's got like a little bit of a paunch belly, and he's kind of clapping his hands, and he's growing his mustache, and like you can see this guy playing backgammon with his, with his family after the fucking cricket match. Here's another cricket individual. Ooh, the ball's right in midair. I like that shot. Very exciting. Cricket. Viv Richards, March 7th, 1952, from St. John's, Antigua. Antigua in the West Indies. Special Delivery Jones, who went back and forth from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania to Antigua in the West Indies. Meanwhile, Will Carling here, rugby player, English national team. This is really taking on an international feel. In case you're wondering why I'm tilting the cards, it's because they have the writing like sideways. So I got to do what I got to do. December 12th, 1965, a graduate of Durham University and a lieutenant in the Royal Regiment of Wales. He was runner-up for the BBC Sports Personality of the Year in 1991. Well, that and a cup of coffee will get you a cup of coffee and a cup. Sally Gunnell, Olympian, July 29th, 1966. Happy birthday in advance, Sally. Very exciting. Known for her painstaking preparation and training. I can relate. Undisputed queen of the 400-meter hurdles. Well, Sally, it's good to see you. And we end, no offense, to Save Ballesteros in golf. I'm trying all my international languages, my international accents. European golf players. Spain, Seve Ballesteros. The top player on the tour, a record 6 times. Nothing to laugh about. He's won 2 U.S. Masters championships. I'm just not a big golf fan, no offense. Once again, I respect it. Here's the metaphor I wanted to give you guys earlier, but I forgot. I'm going to put these cards away. I want to dry my fingertips. I am so uncomfortable right now, to be honest with you. But I did this video for you. It was worth the punishment. It's muggy. I'm terribly uncomfortable. My fingertips are wet. But I'm here for you, okay? I have to take this shirt and just dry myself. I'm so fucking uncomfortable. This is the downside of Florida fun. And to be honest, this is probably, I've been here 20, 21, 22, 23. This is my 4th summer here. I think this is the hottest one so far. And we're July 9th, I believe. My friend Jason and I made a road trip to Maine many years ago. And my friend had never been up to Maine before, from my memory. And so we went to this, he wanted to get some seafood. He wanted the real deal seafood because he lives in Maryland and Virginia like I did as a child. So we're looking for the real deal Maine seafood. So we're not going to fucking, you know what I mean, Arthur Treacher's or Red Lobster. Not that there's anything wrong with that. We're looking for a genuine Maine seafood joint. We find some place. It's not a joint. It's a nice restaurant. We get in there. There's not many people eating at that time. We might have been there early, on a weekday, 4 o'clock. And Maine is pretty sparse. You know, there's some places like downtown Camden that get a little bit of action, but the places in Maine that I've been to, maybe the exception is Portland, but even there it's pretty mellow. God, fuck heaven. So we go to this goddamned restaurant, and it's a genuine Maine fucking seafood place. Fresh seafood, fresh seawater seafood. So we order some stuff, and I ordered some fucking combo, the fisherman's platter or whatever the fuck. And the food comes out. And here's the difference, folks. It's this was the real seafood. This shit was in the ocean 2 hours ago and now I'm eating it. And it's stuff that looks like fish. And nothing is fried and crispy or really white. The fish you get at a fish and chips place is always white and crisp and flaky. This shit is kind of soggy and seafoody, and it's what the fuck? Well, this was real seafood. This was real stuff from the ocean's floor, okay? That some fucking guy, some fucking fisherman in Maine caught that afternoon and brought it over to this restaurant, and then they fucking put it in a kettle and served it to me. And I'm what the fuck? So it's I'm used to crispy fucking beer battered fish and chips or whatever the fuck, cocktail sauce, shrimp. That's what I'm used to, like the mainstream asshole version of seafood, not the real stuff. So I'm sitting there with my friend and I'm like, and this shit was expensive too, because like you're putting this fucking fisherman's daughter through high school or whatever the fuck she's going to. So it's like I'm eating this fucking seafood and I'm thinking, I respect it, but I don't like it. I respect the work and I respect the integrity of this seafood, but it's not to my liking. It's you know, it's too authentic. It's too real. You know, like I'm like, I need some fried fucking batter fried fucking fish, like something that's not good for me, that's gonna kill me, cholesterol. Like that's what I want, not this legitimate shit. And I can remember like looking at it, and it was like in this little fucking thing, and it looked like a little ocean scene, like something from Epcot or something. I'm like, you know, the land in Epcot, if you know what that is. And I'm just like, I can't deal with this. So I ate it. I didn't like it. And then I kind of left feeling like, fuck, I still want it. Because like you ever have like a meal that you eat because you paid for it, and you can't really complain, you know, because it's not bad. You just didn't like it. There's a difference. Like something can be well made, you just doesn't appeal to you. You don't care for it. You see what I'm saying? And I kind of felt like that situation with this seafood. It's not that they did anything wrong. I just didn't like it. And I felt like, man, I just wasted my dinner stipend on this fucking thing. You know what I mean? Because if you're like me, you don't want to spend, you know, you don't want to spend a lot of money all the time on food because it's not going to be there forever. Let's put it that way, in a polite type of way. But what's the point? You go to this fucking nice restaurant and it's like, I can't eat this shit. You know, it's like I did, but I didn't like it. And then it's like, okay, I want a fucking pizza. Like I want something good. You know what I mean? I'm just sharing, you know, I'm not trying to put this fucking seafood place out of business. First of all, I don't know where the fuck they are. I mean, it was somewhere in Rockport, Maine, which no one's ever going to go to, okay? If you're really hard up, you can dig up some of my old acting videos from Rockport, Maine. That's another sob story for another time. But I did have some fun there. And what else? Seve Ballesteros. I'm sure like some of these people that I just kind of glossed over are like your favorites. You know, like in your international country, you have great memories of these guys. You can leave a comment if you want, and I'll respond to it. So that's it. So we put that away. And we tape this fucker up. But yeah, that's my comparison. Like a lot of these, like NASCAR was the original one. NASCAR Golf. Bananas, like I've been forcing myself to eat bananas lately. But if you don't eat them right away, they get very brownish. So it's like you got to eat your fucking banana pretty quick. But like, you know, cricket, NASCAR, what else? Golf. You know, and people get upset. Like if somebody's into something and if you're not into it, you ever notice they get all upset? Like, oh, you don't watch Stranger Things? Well, god damn you. Okay, I don't. You know what I mean? I don't get upset with other assholes if they don't watch what I'm watching. That's their fucking prerogative. I would get more upset if fucks, you know, don't buy my books, my wonderful paintings. But I don't fucking care if I go see Spider-Man and say how great it is, and I tell you how great it is, and you don't go. I know it's gonna fucking happen. 5 or 10 years from now, you'll see it on television, and you'll say, oh my god, that movie was so good, I wish I saw it on the big screen. Well, if you had listened to fucking me in the first place, you would have seen it on the big screen. Same thing with Top Gun. I mean, I knew this gentleman, and he had some health issues, so I can't pick on him too bad. But before he even had the health issues, I said, hey, buddy, you ought to go see Top Gun Maverick on the big screen. This gentleman was a military vet. He liked, that type of stuff, like fast planes and shit. He's like, oh, I'll tell my girlfriend. Well, she didn't want to go see it. So guess what? They never saw the movie. And I'm just telling this asshole like 5 times, go see Top Gun Maverick. You're going to fucking love it. Does he listen to me? No. So one day he'll be flipping around on the fucking TV, and here's Top Gun Maverick, and he's watching on a 27-inch screen, and he's saying, oh, God damn it, I wish I saw that on the big screen. But you didn't listen to Mike, now did you? Did you? That's all I have to say. So I'm fucking hot as fuck. I'm goddamn sweaty. I just took a shower before this situation. My stomach was growling. But I had this fucking thing here for fucking weeks, and I didn't want it to sit on its ass all day. And so we did this. We had this moment. We had this experience. So if you like what you see here, if you don't, I just tell you how I feel. I'm not trying to win favor with the whole fucking world. There's going to be a very isolated amount of people that enjoy this type of situation. But if you're one of them, welcome aboard, okay? Hoot, hoot. If you want to see my films where I'm not on camera for the most part, one man in the camera films where I edit, I direct, I write the scripts. If you want to see my fucking movie reviews, my one about The Flash is a classic. Go over to the fucking one Mike Messier, and this channel, one pro wrestling and sports fan. It's basically shit like this. I just have my opinions on things. I'm not a fucking expert on anything but pro wrestling. I will take the expert hat on that, but I'm an enthusiast. I do appreciate somebody recently asked about a UFC fight coming up July 29th. I will be doing a whole video on that. So if you do have specific things, specific fights, I will do the research and so forth. So that's it, folks. Have a nice day. Mike Messier.